Wes here, and welcome to day 21 of SHOCKTOBERFEST 2021. We have another Japanese animation for you today. This one is 1987's C.A.T. This one is kind of a collaboration of a lot of old ideas from other sci-fi and horror films. So they did what they could, and not necessarily for the best, but we're going to delve into it. The story is about 13 different people from different walks of life who happen to work for the same company, if not a subsidiary of the company itself. They all go to outer space on an expedition to find some company property on a different planet. Now, while they're in hypersleep, a meteor, or something that looks like a meteor or an asteroid, breaks apart and gets into the ship. And eventually gets into the water supply, which in turn starts infecting the crew members. One man gets scratched by a cat and eventually he drops dead. Oh, then all of a sudden, the doctor dies. A couple other people die. Until there's about 4 people left. 2 of them, supposedly, at the beginning of the film, are not who they say they are. They're actually time jumpers, where they did some crimes back in the day, and they go on different expeditions and different, shuttles going into hypersleep. So 40, 50 years later, their crimes are not known by anybody in that time frame. So while people are getting infected and getting absorbed and turning into monsters, they're also trying to figure out who is the criminals on board and what they're going to do to them when they find out who they are. So it's a little mixture of everything. Eventually, the 2 people that are the criminals or supposed people who are fleeing their past survive. And yeah, we're just going to get into what I like and what I don't like about this film. What I like about this film is that there is that sense of suspense, the chase, the whodunit type situation. There is a lot of psychological and science fiction violence. That the violence for this anime is not as intense as a lot of other ones I've seen in the past, but I would say it is, it's up there, but somewhat tame considering, movies like Wicked City or Demon City Shinjuku that we've done in the past, especially Vampire Hunter D from the first year that we did Shocktoberfest. That stuff was pretty intense. This one, not so much. Other than that, there's not much I can really get into what I like. I'm just going to talk about what I don't like. They took a lot of liberties with the English dub especially. This movie is kind of, like I said, a collaboration. They kind of, by collaboration, they basically took a whole bunch of different science fiction films, threw them in a blender, and you get C.A.T. You get, this movie is basically the Alien franchise mixed with Leviathan, mixed with, eventually the ship pretty much becomes self-aware. You got 2001 Space Odyssey in there. They took a lot of liberties, even to the point where the captain of the ship says something, even though he references Lethal Weapon, but calls it what he read in a comic book. I'm getting too old for this shit. And that's within the first 10 minutes of the film, and automatically I just go, oh. As a pop culture nerd, I had to strap myself in. I'd watched this movie years ago, both as in college when it was in its entirety, and also as a kid when it was on Sci-Fi Channel on Saturday Morning Anime in the 90s. So, going back in retrospect, I used to think that this movie was actually interesting and cool, but going back, it's not that good. I'm going to go ahead and just because of how, and not just that, but this movie is barely an hour long. So, yeah. That also is kind of an issue for me. Because most animes I've seen are at least about an hour and a half, if not 2 hours. So, time to grade this one. With some of the jokes that they threw in there, I'll be fair and I'll give this one a D+. Because, like I said, there are some good moments in there, but the fact that, this review is much like the anime itself. This one was kind of phoned in. And you know what, folks? Sorry, not sorry. Shit like this happens when you start pulling movies at random for reviews. And unfortunately, this one dropped the ball. So, we hope that you can understand this review being so short, and we hope you appreciate at least my effort for trying to get through this, crap. So anyways, make sure you leave a thumbs up. If you did like this anime and don't agree with my opinions on it, you can leave a thumbs down too. I totally understand. Leave a thumbs down if you feel this episode was too short. I get it. Otherwise, make sure you share on social media, but most importantly, push that little red button, and don't forget to ring the bell for instant notifications on Dragonfire Entertainment. Tomorrow we should have a better movie in store. And actually, I pulled it today, and quite frankly, that'll make up for this one. So until then, I'm Wildman Wes, and we will see you next time for day 22 of Shocktoberfest 2021. Take care, stay tuned, and as always, stay scared.